I've gone through 2 years of struggling to change habits that I've learned as a child and teenager and a young adult. But now I've got all these healthy habits to where I'm able to carry them on into 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s. But I'm also able to pass it on to my daughter.
Welcome to the show where we help you make smart nutrition simple. If you want proven nutrition strategies to help you build a better body and create the energy to show up for your family without overly restrictive and unrealistic dieting, then you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and enjoy this episode.
Jeremiah, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Going pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to have this conversation. It's a bittersweet conversation for me because we're wrapping up 2 years of your coaching experience. And, I'm sad to kind of lose you from the one-on-one coaching standpoint, but I'm excited for you to continue on in our community and have the tools and the skills to be able to continue on for yourself. So just to set the stage, why don't you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So yeah, my name's Jeremiah. I'm a project manager in technology. So I've been at my present company for almost 20 years. Single dad. Do have one daughter that I take care of, as much as I can. I just turned 40 years last year, so I've been, struggling with my weight from junior high is probably the earliest I can remember. I've been very active in all sports, weightlifting and stuff like that, and have always been the chubby kid. Could never figure out why things were the way they were, you know what I mean? So early 20s, I was kind of diagnosed with, some type 2 diabetes, but didn't really take it seriously until maybe in my 30s and,
Yeah.
started seeking other doctors. And, that's obviously when I met Dr. Roz, and then which obviously led me to you, these past 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've accomplished quite a lot in the last 2 years, which I'm excited to share with our listeners. You mentioned that you struggled with weight throughout the entirety of your life. You were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. What prompted you to start to search for answers, and perhaps what had you tried before?
I guess just the amount of work I was putting into the gym and not really seeing results. It's you just constantly hit the treadmill and you're really not seeing any weight loss. You still this big fat, person, and you're constantly putting in the work in the gym, lifting weights and doing the extra cardio and stuff like that, staying active, and really just not understanding what was missing there. What else could you be doing if you're working out this much and the scale isn't moving in either direction? Not only weight loss, but also putting on muscle mass.
Sure. So what was the limiting factor there?
I think the limiting factor is just nutrition.
Yeah.
Really diving in, and that's what you helped me learn, diving in and really understanding nutrition. And not on top of that, I mean, even before I met you, I, took a couple of nutrition classes at, the college and stuff like that to get myself a little bit more knowledge from a book standpoint. But I think meeting you, having all the experience you have with all these different clients, not everyone's the same. And that's one of the things that you made me understand is like, not every one diet is going to work for everybody. Everyone's so different on how they react to food.
What did you feel like were the biggest changes that you had to make with respect to your nutrition, and or the biggest things around your nutrition that had been holding you back originally?
I think it's just the protein. I thought I was eating enough protein, and I wasn't. And now when I look at the protein I eat, it's like it's a huge amount, but to be able to have the nutritional value for a 200-pound person, those are the needs that my body needs, is that amount of protein. You know what I mean? So I think that was another big eye opener. And then the other one is probably dipping into the carbs and the sugar as like a coping mechanism.
Mm.
Getting that dopamine rush to when you're in your long days or into your feelings or whatever the case may be. I think that was the other eye-opening.
How have you been able to curb those over the course of our tenure to put you in a better position? Because to be fair, like you, at no point have we tried to cut them out, right? So how do you navigate it more strategically now?
The feelings are still there. They're still valid, but it's more manageable now. I understand that what I'm doing as far as, dipping into the sugar, it's just a cover up. It gives me that instant gratification in that moment, but that may not be the best decision for the long run. So it's just understanding that point is, okay, this is the now, this is the decision I'm making now. Is that going to better me tomorrow? Or is that going to be better for me in the next meal decision I make?
Sure.
And that I think that's going through that journey. But also, I think journaling, the food that I ate helped too, because then you realize it's there, it's in the app. This is what I ate. This is my results. And I think, you can apply that towards journaling your long days, your feelings and your thoughts. It's the same practice. So you're able to see it on paper and it's able to, resonate a little bit more because you're viewing it. You're not
Yeah.
just thinking about it.
Growing up, you'd been heavier. What were some of the behaviors that were instilled in you early on that you had to figure out how to start to change around your nutrition through this program?
Basically just really making meals. I mean, my mom made meals, like on the weekends and stuff like that. But, during the week, we kind of, had your hamburger helper. It's packaged meal. All you had to do is cook the hamburger and then throw everything else with some water. Stuff like that is kind of what we were brought up on. But now, it's completely different. I mean, I cook eggs almost every morning with ham,
Right.
with a lean piece of meat of ham. Before it was Cheerios, sugary stuff with, you know, milk that probably has extra sugar added to it also. So, it's just that's how it was back then. But now it's completely different to where, I'm eating almost 6 eggs in the morning, with the egg whites and stuff like that, and with the lean piece of ham, and adding Greek yogurt in throughout the day. And I didn't eat yogurt when I was
Right.
younger. So yeah, it's just those little things like that to where actually making a meal versus grabbing it from a box.
Right. That's definitely been one of the biggest transformational things I've seen and observed through you, and of course, helped you with over our time is first and foremost understanding calories, but beyond understanding and managing calories is then the progression of starting to understand the quality of the calories that you're consuming
Right.
and the relevance of the quality relative to whether we're building muscle, whether we're trying to burn more body fat, whether we're trying to establish more satiety. I think that would probably provided a pretty good learning opportunity for you.
Oh yeah, I did. It's definitely eye opening on, that front as far as the nutrition and what type of foods are out there and and how the body reacts to them.
Yeah, 100%. And so, what do you think were the aspects of the program that helped you the most? And why do you think they were so effective?
I think the weekly coaching calls, having that some sort of accountability, like I knew going into the weekly coach calls, you're going to ask me questions and I'm going to have to answer them. Now I could lie, but is that really beneficial to myself? Am I really getting the full potential out of the program? And then is that fair to you as being my coach too? You know what I mean? Because yeah, I'm paying for a service, but at the end of the day, it's still about being honest and stuff like that. So I think the weekly coaching calls, just knowing that you're going to get questioned about how your week went. And then I guess the tough love that you've given me few times here and there,
Okay.
telling me to get off my butt and get out and do some extra walking or whatever the case may be. But I think also the empathy that you showed through my accident, through various things like building my dad's house and stuff like that, and some of the feelings that I've shared with you and stuff like that. So I think that was another big part too, is just you're able to gauge all ranges of the emotions of your client, which is crucial because they're going through the struggle, they're going through the mud, but having the support and not being a constant tough love person to say, hey, okay, this is what happened. Okay, this is how we're going to work through this. So that
Yeah.
was crucial.
Hey guys, I want to interrupt this conversation briefly with an exciting announcement. If you're a father and struggling to lose the pounds that have crept on over the years, I understand your challenge. You're juggling a successful career, a loving family, and now you're looking to regain that energy and physique that seems to have slipped away. And that's exactly why I created Prime Fit Operating System. Prime Fit OS is a unique hybrid coaching program designed specifically for men like you. Now, you guys know me, we're not about quick fixes or impossible routines. Instead, we focus on real sustainable change through personalized nutrition and science-driven strength training, all wrapped up in a supportive community with expert guidance directly from me and my 20 years of experience working with men just like you. Imagine mastering your nutrition without restrictive dieting, getting stronger and leaner, and boosting your overall energy, all without overwhelming your already busy schedule. With Prime Fit OS, you're getting more than just a cookie cutter nutrition and fitness plan. You're embarking on a transformative journey that fits into your life, not the other way around. So, if you're ready to take the first step towards a healthier, leaner, stronger, more energetic, confident, ass-kicking you, join us over at Prime Fit Operating System. Trust me, guys, your family, your career, and most importantly, you will thank you for it. So if you guys are interested in getting started and want to find out more about the program, let's chat. Just head over to primefitos.com/call and grab a time on my calendar. Remember, it's your time to be at your prime.
Yeah, man. And credit to you, because it has not been an easy journey, and never is it an easy journey.
Mm-mm.
And I think it's really deceptive, when we look to social media and before and after pictures around what we think the process looks like or what it should look like,
Right.
and never does it. So, you mentioned having some, to put it lightly, bumps in the road along the way. You got in a terrible motorcycle accident, you tore up your rotator cuff, you got literally all gnarled up, had to work back from that, kept your foot on the gas though, and were sort of just kind of showing up every week. Tell me what I need to do, I'll do it. Showing up, submitting your check-ins, and helped your dad build a house, for crying out loud, every weekend. And so navigating all of those food decisions, raising a daughter, going back to school. I mean, it really puts things into perspective around why you should be so proud of yourself, and
Mhm.
and why I'm so happy to, acknowledge and applaud your efforts as someone who I know is, you've gotten great results. And I know you'll continue to get great results because that's the type of person that you are. And so I'm really appreciative of that. And I think, again, is you really should feel proud of yourself for the progress that you've made, right? All things considered.
I appreciate that.
What have your results been? What do you consider to kind of be the most powerful aspects of the process that you've taken away, kind of, again, I guess objectively and subjectively?
Well, I think the most thing is you kind of go into this, or I did, okay, I'm going into this to lose weight. But as you go through the journey, it's just not about losing weight. It's what behaviors have gotten to me to this weight. You know what I mean? So it's going through those struggles to change those behaviors into more of a healthy habit to where now everything today is routine. And I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've taken is that, yeah, I've gone through 2 years of struggling to change habits that I've learned as a child and teenager and a young adult. But now I've got all these healthy habits to where I'm able to carry them on into 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s. But I'm also able to pass it on to my daughter. So when she's here in my household, she eats the way I eat. We're measuring out her lunch. She's getting into the routine and stuff like that to where she's adding more and more protein to her lunch. So she's not coming home, I'm starving, Dad. No,
Right.
there's no more of that. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's those little things that I start noticing myself to where she's no longer eating bread. She's just taking turkey, some string cheese,
Yep.
apples, and some carrots. That's her lunch.
Yep.
So it's those things that, oh, okay, this is worth the struggle that I did. Now I can pass it on to my daughter so she's not struggling
Well,
later
it
on in
sounds
life.
like you're going to pass it on to a lot more people than your daughter too, because you're going back to school for
Right, right.
what exercise phys.
Yeah. So yeah, and then yeah, taking the struggles that I did and helping someone else, in their struggles. And I get pleasure out of helping other people achieve their goals, even through the work that I do today. If I'm able to help someone, get a promotion or whatever, like they don't have to say thank you. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's just who I am as an individual. So
100%. Where do you think you would be right now had we not had the opportunity to connect, had you not had the opportunity to go through the coaching over the past couple years?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know where I would be. I probably would be a little bit more knowledgeable just because I'm the type of individual that likes to read, pick up books, look at peer articles, look at stuff, stuff like that. But I think the value of working with an individual like yourself, you have obviously a lot more schooling than I have, but you also have the experience of all the clients that you've had over the numerous years. So you have that to where I know during our certain coaching calls, you would bring up, well, maybe you worked did this with the client. Let's try this for the next 2 weeks. Let's see if this works. Let's see if that works. So you have that experience. So I think that's part of of getting a coach is beneficial because I wouldn't have gotten those extra ideas or that's not in a book somewhere. That's not in a peer review article or anything like that. So you know what I mean? So I think that's beneficial on your part.
Well, I'll tell you, I have thoroughly enjoyed the conversations that we have. I love the way that you've showed up, the questions that you ask, how inquisitive you are, how you're always trying to learn, how you challenge me to think deeper about given topics, how receptive you are to just right, because you understand the science, you give me the opportunity to just nerd out
Right.
on stuff and go on to tangents um, and perhaps too much, but I think we both love this stuff. So I appreciate that from you. Before I let you go, if Jeremiah, if there's anyone that's listening to this, if they're watching this, if they're on the fence around reaching out and inquiring about the coaching program or joining the coaching program, what would you say to them?
Ask questions. Sitting on the fence is due to the lack of knowledge, and that's how I pertain it to. So, if you're sitting on the fence today, what's the hurt in asking questions or inquiring? You're not signing a contract or anything like that. But I think the more knowledge that we have, the better we can make a decision. I can only speak from my experience. This has been life changing. I can continue to live like this and keep building onto it, and for the next 50 years. And so, yeah, so if you're sitting on the fence out there, it doesn't hurt to ask questions and get more knowledge. I'm sure Ben is greatly able to take his time and spend an hour with you because that's what he did with me in the beginning to answer all my questions to make sure this was the best fit for me. And on that very phone call, I think I made the decision and said, yeah, let's do this. So
Yeah, and you made a decision, and that's the hard part around acquiring more knowledge is there's so much information out there, and I can provide more information. And so it begs the question of what information do you need to actually know to make a decision, right? Because you made the decision, you jumped on, you got informed, and then you jumped. And what I would say is you knew what you were looking for. You knew you needed support, guidance, and accountability, and some strategic guidance because you're a smart enough guy. It's a double-edged sword because you can easily get lost in all of the information and continuing to acquire more and more knowledge, but never actually being able to do anything with it.
Right.
And so that's where I would strongly encourage people to ask themselves, well, how much information do I actually need? Or is it simply the application? Who do I need to help me apply the information I might already know, but that I'm not actually putting into action for myself? And that's why I think this has been a really good relationship with us. And I know we'll continue to be, and I'm so happy that you're going to continue to be, part of our community as a lifetime member, but it's about just taking action, saying, okay, enough is enough with trying to learn more and more. If I'm not making progress right now, it's time to take action. And you're an action taker. And so, Jeremiah, dude, such a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to jump on with us. And, we'll catch up soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening. And if you found this content valuable, here are 4 ways I can help you in your nutrition journey for free. 1. Grab a free copy of my Fat Loss Fix Guide at fatlossfixguide.com. 2. Join my free group at smartnutritionmadesimple.com. 3. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at smartnutritionmadesimpletv.com. 4. Leave a 5-star rating and positive review so that we can gain access to more nutrition experts ready to share their knowledge with you and ultimately help more people make smart nutrition simple.